A different kind of blunt discussion today. A House committee did something useful for a change here, held a hearing on legalizing marijuana. Representatives from both parties, they're ready for change. 21 states have already legalized the devil's lettuce, the latest, Maryland and Missouri, in ballot measures last week. So when will the federal government get on board with the will of the people? Joining me now, South Carolina Republican Congressman and ranking member on the subcommittee for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, Congresswoman Nancy Mace is back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Did we make any headway today? Is there some good news? Is there a glimmer of hope on Capitol Hill?
Well, certainly this was a landmark hearing today on oversight. We have not had a bipartisan cannabis hearing yet this legislative session, so that is a step in the right direction. And to have Republicans and Democrats come together to have a very frank conversation about the problems, but also the solutions to cannabis reforms in this country. And Kennedy, as you know, we've talked about the States Reform Act. I talked about that bill today and all of the benefits in that legislation. But one of the things I want to do tonight is I want to thank the Democrat chairman of that subcommittee on civil rights, Jamie Raskin, for holding the hearing. We requested it, we asked for it. I spent a lot of time on this issue, and it's great to show the country, the United States of America, this is an issue where we can really come together on.
Yeah, and it's one of the few issues where Democrats and rational Republicans like yourself have the same level of passion and commitment to freedom in their various states for their constituents. So, you know, you have said that the only place where there's this pro-prohibition attitude left is in Congress. How do you change that?
Well, we've got to start with working together. If we have a Republican-controlled House, a Democrat-controlled Senate, that is a mandate by the citizens of our country to reach across the aisle and work together. And I'll tell you, I represent a very purple swing district in South Carolina, but my state overall is very conservative and very red. The entire state of South Carolina, if you were to poll its residents today, they support cannabis reforms. They support the rights of states to determine their own laws. They really love medical cannabis. And in my district, my swing district, it goes even further where the vast majority of residents support adult use. And so this is an issue that's a winning issue, no matter if you have an R or a D by your name, but we can't just sit on the sidelines as a multi-billion-dollar industry. We've got to move it forward in a fair and responsible manner, and that means we've got to work together.
And stop burying your heads in the sand and equating marijuana with fentanyl, because that is irresponsible.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about leadership in your party. Do you think that Kevin McCarthy is up to the job? And you can be honest here. We're not even on TV.
I do.
I mean, we are, but
no. Well, we are, and I voted for him today. He came in early in my race in 2020. I flipped a seat held by a Democrat in 2020. I won by only 1 point. And Kevin McCarthy was in with us from day one, very early on, and I appreciate his support. He understands that every district is different, and I just won overwhelmingly. I just won my re-election by 14 points. We were able to turn 40% of Democrat precincts. We made them to be Republican this time around. We outperformed in every measure with Republicans, Democrats, and independents, because he understands that my district is different. We march to beat of our own drum. We have certainly a more independent streak, and he respects that about the conference. I don't envy his job today. There is a lot of division, not only Republicans versus Democrat, but in our own parties. And he's up to the task to bring all of us together come January.
Well, hopefully we'll know before the end of the show who is actually controlling Congress. Congresswoman, they voted for you in droves this time because you work hard, you pass bills, you work with Democrats on very, very important issues. And I wish there were more people in Congress who are willing to do that. Thank you very much for your time.